I ain't been broke in a minute. I'm tryna run these digits. Put my little bro in the penny. We hop at the car with extensions. These niggas be pistols, they switching. Playing with bro, then you go on the mission. Me and my niggas, we all on the mission. Focus on money, ain't worried about bitches.
Yo, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy VeLL, and we're back with another Mobile Legends video, and this one will be covering something interesting. So, Coach Panda actually explained why the Philippines is better than Indonesia, and it's not just a video glazing, obviously. This is going to be a video where he explains the differences, and he actually breaks down the strengths of the Philippines and the weaknesses of Indonesia, which should help, actually, the Indonesian side of things become a lot better. And I always love videos like this because it's easy to say, oh, the Philippines wins everything, but it's not that normal, or it's not an everyday thing where you have someone who's very, very experienced literally breaking down the minor details that just needs a little bit of tweaking that can literally improve an entire country. So this is stuff where, this is what I was saying in my video a while back where I was talking about how Indonesia is starting to rise up, because what seems to be missing is that information. And now Indonesia is starting to get the information. All these imports, they're getting the players. All the information, they're getting that because they're getting the coaches as well. It's like they're getting all the information that's been missing. So I know how strong the Philippines has been, but what you have to understand is that Indonesia is starting to get the information, which has been a huge part of the separation. Now, obviously, there's the heart, the drive. There's a lot more things that makes the Philippines what it is, but your strength is about to be tested. I feel like it's about to be tested because there's not going to be a gap in the information. It's going to really be heart versus heart. We're going to see which country has the most heart moving forward, because the information gap is starting to get bridged. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But let's actually jump into it and listen to some of the criticisms that he's had of Indo coming from the Filipino perspective. So let's get into it, y'all.
Ngayon, maybe papunta tayo sa mga huling mga questions, of course. We're talking about Indonesia, for example, and I'm sure that across all of your accolades, lahat ng experience mo, ngayon, ikaw yata yung ilan sa mga confident ako na tanungin, like, what is the reason why Filipino teams ang mas successful? What is Indonesia doing differently sa atin or other regions, for example? Bakit tayo mas magaling, basically? Or mas successful?
I just feel like Philippines is better than Indonesia right now because we have a clear objective plan. Like turtle team fight. We know when to give, when to fight, how to take trades for resource to resource.
Yeah.
Kapag Lord na, we know what kind of setup we need to prepare for.
Yeah.
Notice how often that he's saying, we know. We know these, we know this, we know that, we know that. So all of this is information based. Indonesia just doesn't know enough. But now they're starting to bring in coaches. They're starting to bring in, the resources that they need to actually understand what they don't know. And that's when the tide kind of turns and things shift a little bit, because it's not going to be a situation where you can say, oh, Indo doesn't know these things, because they're going to know these things. So the games are going to start coming down to a lot more than what you do and don't know. It's going to come down to who has the most heart, who wants to win more, which players are going to rise up to the occasion and show that they're the strongest players in the world. Like, that's what it's going to start coming down to. Because right now, the Philippines is just dominating purely because it's the smartest region when it comes down to the game itself. Like, the Philippines is just dominant when it comes down to it. Like, but we're gonna see how it switches when everyone has the information, because that's when the real competitive side of things really jumps out, in my opinion. When everyone has the same information, now it's going to be based on heart, who wants it more.
Kapag push na or which lane to play through, we know either it's the gold lane or the XP lane or the mid lane or the jungle. And then kapag pushing towers, we know how we should push towers, tapos macro gaming. Tapos sa team fight, we also know who to target, how to go all in. Tapos last is that we know how to end the game din sa mga objective playstyle of Philippines.
Yeah. And why do you think that way? Like, ba tayo nauna? Was it because kasi noong 2019, it was definitely Indonesia's year. Was it because of our coaching staff or just the players na nagsipag, or what do you think?
I'm not really sure, but ikaw, Wolf, what do you think?
I think mas nag-aral, I gotta say. Mas nauna nag-aral. Like, I'm pretty sure hanggang 2020, hanggang 2021, mechanics-based ang Indo. As in, that's how pag pinanood mo over and over yung mga games nila, makikits mo yung mindset ng mga players na gusto kong papatunayan ko sa'yo na mas magaling ako. That's how they, for example, yung pag-invade nila was like that. Yung pag-kill nila was more of outplay than it is like a 100-0 play. For example, papatay sila ng isang player dito. Yun yung goal nila. Gusto mo nila pumatay. They would rather outplay that gamit yung jungler ng 1v1 rather than ilagay mo yung isang player na yun sa position na wala na siyang takas. Because Filipinos, I cannot remember kung sino yung unang gumawa nun, but majority sa mga players natin, ganun yung gagawin. Like, clear mo tong lane na to para wala mapupuntahan to. Something like that. Yeah. So it's like,
So he thinks that it's like a mental gymnastics with the Philippines. Like the Philippines thinks ahead, and it's not just about flexing off your abilities and your mechanical capabilities. As opposed to Indo, it's just purely mechanics based. Let's have a fair one and we'll destroy you with our mechanics. As opposed to the Philippines, it's more strategic. Let's set you up so we have the greatest chance of winning. And we still have mechanics and we can still do it all. So, yeah. Interesting.
In the Philippines, the first thing that you would do is gawa ka muna ng advantage para sa'yo. Tapos tsaka mo labanan. Laban tayo kapag mas lamang ako. Parang ganun.
I think, yeah, I agree din. I think, for me, the first term, like, Filipino meta was, please correct me if it's an overstatement or overstatement, but...
Okay lang yan. Nasa podcast naman.
I think it was from the Ubestrat from Blacklist. Because Blacklist game style was like this. You only fight for objectives.
Yeah.
And then, when you're not complete, tapos enemy wants to engage, out ka lang. Wag ka ng backup. Out ka na lang.
Huwag mo na risk.
Wag mo na risk. And that became the game style of Onyx PH recently. Tapos yung ibang teams din.
So basically what they're saying is that the Philippines does things that actually make sense. So there's no ego. There's not as much ego. Obviously there's ego, but there's not as much ego. Because you're not taking a fight if it doesn't make sense to take that fight. You're not doing things just to prove that you can do it. So you don't take a play and take on a whole team just because you can. You do things if it leads to you securing an objective, because at the end of the day, it's about winning. As opposed to Indonesia, maybe they've been more so focused on mechanics and doing things just because they're capable of doing it. I'm faster. I'm a faster player than you. I can play this hero, and I'm just so good that I can get in and get out. So they're jumping in situations where they're getting in and getting out. And even though they're doing that, it's not necessarily leading to anything because you're getting in and getting out, but it didn't secure an objective. And the whole game is about securing objectives. So if you just got in and got out, yeah, that's cool, but it doesn't make you a winner because you didn't win doing that. You just looked cool. So I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. It comes down to it really comes down to the knowledge and information on how to win the game. And that's what a lot of people miss out on. That's what a lot of people don't realize. You have to learn how to win as a team. It's not about fast mechanics. Like that's what so many casual players, that's why I hate like a lot of casual players in North America, because people want to look cool, want to be the top rank, want to it's just all ego as opposed to doing what it takes to win. And I think that's one of the biggest flaws of even just the casual player. It's just that not understanding why players do certain things. Like you'll see a player do something real cool one time and you'll try to replicate it forever, not realizing the situation that they did that cool thing in, it made sense for the situation they were in. You just running around doing the same thing over and over could be a completely stupid thing. Yeah, it may look cool, but it's stupid. It's probably stupid when you do it if you don't understand the context around why it was done in the first place. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. People in this community, Mobile Legends community just follows, as opposed to knowing how to create, knowing how to understand. So the way that the game is supposed to be played is you're supposed to know your roles, know what everyone is supposed to be doing, and then understand strategy. So when you see the enemy team deploying a certain strategy, you know how to counter it. You know certain things that you can do that's going to be effective against what they're doing. So then it's just a game of back and forth. We both know how to play this game, but I recognize your strategy and I'm going to counter it this way. Then the other team is supposed to be like, oh, I recognize you trying to counter what I'm doing right now. So let's switch it up and we're gonna approach it this way now. And it's just supposed to be a back and forth until one team wins because the other team is just outsmarting the other. But in Mobile Legends, it's not that. Usually it is just running around mechanical and seeing who can out mechanic the other team. That's really what it comes down to most times. And that's not how you play this game. That's not how you're supposed to. At least that's not how you become a champion playing this game. So, I mean, yeah, it can be played like that, especially if you're playing at a low enough level. But at the point where you get to a pro level, it's going to become more about the knowledge and the decisions and the patience and the understanding of the game. And those who don't have that is going to be a huge gap, as the Philippines has shown. So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. That's pretty much it for this one, y'all. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.